Hello, cats and kittens. What Jose Yoroshiku back in the crisis corner, and we're here to give a retrospective on the Netflix live action One Piece series. I got my man Dave with me. Say, Dave.
What's up, good people?
Yeah, so we're gonna chop it up. This is late, but you know, schedule conflicts, whatever. We just getting to this.
We here now.
But yeah, that's the main thing. And I think this is great because a lot of instances in the crisis corner is just me, knocking down stuff that's trash. This is a rare opportunity. I ain't got to bother you. That's a separate issue. But we get a rare opportunity where you get to praise something. Something that
Jose,
is
a
true.
professional hater. Like, this just be real. Like,
There's a
whatever.
lot of trash out there. That's I
I
guess, but I'm
mean,
I'm gonna say this. This is not so much that One Piece stands out in contrast to the trash. It is legit, well crafted entertainment. We fans of the IP, so you can say there's a bias, but on the merits, on the merits of actual craftsmanship, this is a well put together series, and I especially say that in the light of the debacle that was, I don't know, Cowboy Bebop. A lot of people would say Death Note, um, and other series taken from animes and mangas. It just didn't hit. I like Roni Kenshin. I liked Yu Yu Hakusho. I'm watching and I'm cool with it so far. I can't think of too many other adaptations that I really liked. I didn't think Bleach was no good. I didn't think they're gonna do Naruto. I'm shaking in my boots to see what they're gonna do there. Um, and I was, terrified as to what they were gonna do with One Piece because it's not the easiest thing you would think to put to live action. I would argue that there was no need. It was a risk that did not have to be taken. I mean, in your opinion, I'll put it like this: when you saw the um, trailer, the initial trailer, what was your impression? What did you think was going to happen?
I, I guess like you, I can't think of any manga live action adaptation that I would say was worth watching. So I'm gonna start there. I can't even off the top of my head. You said you like Barodi Kitchen, and I was like,
Oh,
it
you
might have
ain't? Are
been,
you one there with it? Oh,
and I love Barodi Kitchen. I think, I think there might have been one fight in there that was like, but I was like, man, I don't know,
oh, so you
man.
didn't think the fight choreography was no good? Wow.
Look, dude, I think the fight choreography was probably the best part of that show.
Oh,
Those movies. I'm like,
mm.
I might have to rewatch it, Doug, just based on you saying. But I'm like, maybe I missed something. But no, I'd had very little expectations for the One Piece live action. I had very little, very low. They I didn't expect it to be garbage.
Yeah, on My Lie in April, I thought that was
Also,
decent. They did live action of that too.
oh, they did
Was it
that.
your lie? Was it your lie in April or My Lie in April?
It's your line, April. Your
Your
line.
lie in April. I thought that was all right, but I'm partial to that too. So
I'm gonna check that one out. I'm gonna check
well,
that one out. I didn't even know they did your line. Is that on Netflix or?
I think so. I believe
Okay.
it is.
All right, then
Yeah, it's
I'll look for that. I'll look for that one. I enjoy your lie in
uh
April, so I'll give it a
oh
shot.
yeah,
And
that was a
I'll
recommendation
also
from
watch
yeah.
Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yeah, let me know what you think. Let me know what you
Yeah,
think.
yeah,
I
I
mean,
got you.
I think it was okay. But when I saw the trailer, I was terrified. I didn't know what they was going to do. I didn't know that they could pull it off. And I was not convinced after seeing the trailer. Um, so I was still a little bit scared. But going forward in watching it, it was just absolutely it, it put my faith back in storytelling, especially for Netflix.
Okay.
Because they get a knock for some of their shows. regardless, people didn't like Umbrella Academy. People didn't like different shows. They thought they was not well put together.
I
But it
like
kind of
Umbrella
like
Academy, so you know I can't
I
even
saw the
you
first
know
season. I didn't see the second. I don't
I
know if
enjoy.
it did it hold up on the second season.
I think I like it. I'm current, so I'm waiting for the fourth season to drop, dude. So
So they
I'll
got
tell you
three
that.
seasons out.
Yes.
I dropped out after the first one.
Well,
Not necessarily because it was bad. I just didn't really it didn't click with me. But so good.
uh, I got you. I got you. It
Okay,
clicked
but
with me.
I'll check it out. I'll check it
Yeah.
out. Okay, so upon viewing,
Okay.
um, once you saw the first episode, what was your reaction off of that first episode?
So after the first episode, I and I guess we'll get into acting in little bits and pieces here and there because I think our opinion of some of the performances differ. So after the first episode, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this. I'm gonna tell you off the break
Huh?
of the first episode, they almost lost me. I find um, and it's weird because I'm gonna preface this by saying when I see Iñaki Godoy do interviews
Mm-hmm.
and so forth, I find he comes off very Luffy-esque to me.
Mm-hmm.
I like his vibe. I think he has a lot of energy. I feel that.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, and I know we we'll get into this a bit, but his acting isn't quite up to snuff for me yet. So I
Mm-hmm.
felt like he was acting. So
Mm-hmm. I know what
when
you mean.
the idea that I'd have to do this for 8 episodes just it weighed down. So if your lead is a problem and he was problematic for me, then
Mm-hmm.
ultimately the show doesn't seem as enticing. So he was problematic for me. So and I'll also say that, and I can't remember the actor's name who played Kobe,
Mm-hmm.
but Luffy and Kobe were the biggest problems for me for the show. And Luffy and Kobe, like I mean,
That
so
was like the backbone of the whole joint. For really, I
dude, so it
mean,
was you just got to push through. So I was like, I had to do it. So where were you at after the first one?
after the first one,
Yeah.
uh, my expectations were so low that I was cool. I was on cloud nine. To be honest with you,
Oh,
with the
where you was
nah,
like,
I kind
yo,
of I get what you're saying with his portrayal of Luffy. What's his name again?
Iñaki Godoy.
Iñaki Godoy. His and I see what you're saying about acting, kind of like, and I don't want to use this necessarily as apples to apples, but kind of like with Homegirl and Captain Marvel. Homegirl, what's
Okay.
her name?
Brie Larson.
Brie Larson. Through every time you see her play Captain Marvel, you feel like she's not necessarily comfortable with the role. Like
Mm,
it's not a role that she's really inhabiting,
I got you.
but she's just acting. She's just, you know, which is a weird thing to say because acting is acting, but people, are so comfortable with the role that you lose them. So you lose them in the performance, and they just
Yeah.
inhabit the character.
Yeah.
So there was some stiffness to it. You know what I mean? As if
Well,
he's finding himself in that role.
yeah. I
Which
mean,
is
I'm with you. So I guess that's what I mean. There was stiffness, and I guess to me, it's a little. I guess I'm with you. It's not apples to apples because Brie Larson and like like I said, when I see him doing an interview,
mhm,
I'm this kid's Luffy. Like I
right,
see it. So I feel like the longer he goes on with this show, the better he's going to be. So I honestly felt
right,
like it's stiffness because he's young and he's new to acting.
Right, right.
as opposed to this role, because I don't know that you ever gonna get anything better from Brie Larson.
No, listen,
Like it's just
listen.
it is what it
I
is.
think it is at this
I
point. You had to conclude that that's the fact. You know, it's
like
just
I still have I have expectations for this kid. Like I actually I'm looking forward to his growth and what and I feel like I'm getting ahead of our planned program here. But
yeah,
I
yeah.
got expectations for this kid. I'm gonna tell you that on the break.
But and you know we've been through it also. You know, I flipped the switch on that what you call them translation. I flipped that joke over to
Quick,
the Japanese,
quick.
which is and I have to say, if any of y'all have not watched it in the Japanese, you might want to check that out because it kind of enhances the situation a little bit. Hearing the original voice actors for the anime to the live action. I mean, I hate to say it, but it is what it is. And I'm not even saying, huh?
we watched both versions, so I want to make sure it's clear. I don't want nobody to be like that. Y'all out here whatever. No. I watched it fully in English,
English all the way through.
and then on a rewatch, it was all Japanese. I can tell you, but yeah,
Get a little bit better for me on the Japanese, you know. So
yeah.
there's that. But like I say, it's not a knock against.
No.
It's just a
I
preference to the
mean,
voice
it
actors,
is a
I
knock for
guess.
me, but I got you. But yeah, okay. And it's specifically for Inyaki Godoy. I'm gonna tell you that on the break, because
Okay.
I mean, if you watching this dude, I got hope for you, kid. I'm gonna tell you on the break.
Yeah, he's as things went on, he got better.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think anyway.
okay.
So it would just go to production quality, which is essential to creating the world of One Piece, which is outlandish,
Yeah,
obviously, because and that goes into the costumes, all of that stuff. Because you had, if for the uninitiated, when you saw, for instance, I forget the guy, the captain that was blackmailing a man Arlong. You would question why he got that hat on and them little whiskers, and you'd be like, "What's going on here?" You know what I'm saying?
oh,
When you see it in the in the animated world, it's fine. You know, you just go about your business. But certain things, like certain aspects of the show, are just. I appreciate the fact that Oda didn't try to eliminate them. You know, he didn't say, my man Gops got a dog on the front with a bone, his mouth, and just some aspects of the show that are outlandish
okay.
and just intrinsic to that world. He
Yeah,
went with them. Fishmen look like fishmen. He didn't. You know, he didn't try to skate around too many things. Um, and it's just they were just what they were. And you had to just get into it. The brassiere, you know what I'm saying? Boats don't usually look like fish. You know, brassiere pretty much stood up to the enemy.
yeah.
Um, yeah. So I mean, what do you think of the production quality?
Um. So I'm going to say it was better than I thought it was going to be. So, like you said, the world of One Piece is massive. It's massive. So when you do things like this, the settings, the world building is exceptionally important. But when you make them live action, because it's a matter of money. It's very difficult to do that kind of stuff. So you found that even though the world is big, these sets had to be particularly small. So you
Right.
had to keep action um isolated to, so you to me, I think they did well for what they were working with. So I'm going to say that. So I'm going to count that as a win. So I
Okay.
think production was pretty decent, all things considered, because you'd have to get into, I would assume, Game of Thrones. This is movie type money that you
Yeah.
really have to get into every episode to really truly pull off One Piece exceptionally well. So I
Okay.
think for what they were not working for shoestring budget.
Hmm.
They did a pretty good job. So I don't really want to hate on it because I think for what they had, I think I was pleased. Where were you at on?
I thought that and this kind of goes into the question of the challenges to bringing it to live action.
Yeah,
Like you say, the challenges were that this is a huge. The set pieces are dynamic. The costumes are dynamic. The characters involved are dynamic, and you can't again you can't skate around that. And I think they did the best they could to marry the live action, the real world with the animated world. Little stuff like the bar where Luffy grew up, whatever. They basically turned it into an outdoor type bar, whatever.
yeah, yeah,
They That was a set design choice. You know what I'm saying? To my mind, you walk in through them double doors. You know the what you call mountain bandits kick in the double doors and walk into the
yeah.
room. Whatever. It was an open environment, so the fight went down a little bit different. The certain aspects of where was it where my man Axe handled his base. They scaled it. You know,
Yeah,
the courtyard I think they did a good job with the courtyard. They 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 merged the two worlds together as best they could. And you know, with camera trickery or whatever, things look bigger than they were at some times, but you can pretty much bet that they were working on a smaller stage. You know, you can tell they were not working on a $300 million budget or whatever, but they weren't cheap either because they were
yeah.
using practical effects. You know, basically all the way through. It wasn't a whole lot of CGI unless you had to do stuff like Luffy stretching or whatever. Which makes me curious as to going forward, but that's a separate issue. They're gonna really have to think on their toes. They're gonna have to be, you know, thinking pretty quick to get some of this stuff in. Um, but I think the biggest hurdles that they had to jump over were the the environment. I mean, and the using practical effects to get everything in. You know, especially the fishmen. I think that I was impressed that the fishmen didn't come off looking. I thought it was going to be like HR Puffin stuff, looking stuff. You know, I was ready for the worst. I was really ready for the worst. And as bad as you might think, I mean, maybe some people thought Arlong bad. I think he could have been bigger, but
Yeah, I mean,
he looked like Arlong basically, as best
I
as you could get it to work. They didn't dare put Hachi in there. There was no hope of
no,
getting
no, no.
Hachi.
That mean,
Hachi, what's it, 8 arms? He got four for five. He
yeah,
got eight,
I mean,
six
I
at
think,
least. Six.
yeah, yeah, six something. I think it's six. But yeah,
Octopus
no,
Man was not going to make the cut.
Hachi ain't make it. He ain't make it. You
No,
know,
no.
he ain't make it. And
Um,
I thought they handled it pretty well too.
yeah, I
His
think
accents. It was a
they
little,
excluded they excluded what wouldn't make sense, and that's I think one of the things that Oda did to overcome uh, the challenges. You exclude what would look too weird, but you
mhm.
keep as much as the weirdness in that it's possible to keep the fans happy. So
Yeah.
I thought they did a good job there. Um, Basically, now we get to the acting. You can let loose on that. Which characters did you think were best represented?
I think oh let me because I don't want to make sure I get these folks' names. I think I was pretty impressed with a lot of the characters. Um, because I don't want to talk as opposed to acting because I'm about to talk about what's his name McKinyu with Zoro. I didn't think
Mm,
his acting was bad, but I didn't necessarily enjoy Zoro as much as I would have hoped on the in the live action. But I thought Emily Rudd did a great job as Nami. I thought
agreed.
what was his name? Taz Skylar actually was a pretty good Sanji.
Yeah,
Um
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I thought I liked Jeff Ward's Buggy the Clown. I thought that was
Good
um
point. Yeah.
it was real solid. Those three really, and I liked what's my man named Zeph.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Zeph, I thought
Zeph
was
was one of
excellent.
my. Who was that? Oh, Craig Fairbrass. I thought Zeph was my dude, but
Yeah.
those are my highlights in terms of acting wise and who I thought did phenomenal jobs. I didn't have a problem. Like I said, I didn't really have a problem with Iñaki Godoy as Luffy. It's the small little things. I thought his acting was a little stiff. Also, like I said, it might be an acting thing, and it might be because I'm a big dude, whatever. So to my mind, it's just the little small little things irk me. Like it's gonna sound like Dave hating guys, but look, just deal with it. It is what it is. But like small things, Luffy's a glutton,
Hmm.
and your man. It always seemed to me like when he was grabbing food
Uh-huh.
he was doing stuff too nice. Like I'm talking with too nice and too gently for a glutton. Like he was picking stuff up with like a couple fingers, like whatever. And gluttons, this whole hand type situation, and it was little small little things like that was like I wasn't cut type feeling stuff like that. But those four performances I thought were exceptional.
Okay.
Um, and I enjoy them. What kind of standouts? What were you?
I thought Sanji,
Okay,
um, Nami,
okay.
Nami. I didn't have a problem with Usopp. Just
Yeah,
like you say, Zeph.
ain't
I
give him
thought
nothing.
they didn't give him nothing to do. I mean, he was there.
He was there.
He was
Yeah,
there.
he just showed up.
Um, who was it? That I thought were exceptional. Let me go my head. Those stood out to me. I'll be honest with you, Arlong. I
Okay,
liked Arlong. I like the dude.
okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay.
I thought Shorty put it, and
Uh,
definitely Buggy. A Buggy for sure. He was stealing every scene that he was in.
He's trying his best.
Um,
That's my dude from Agents of Shield. But whatever. We got
oh yeah, Shorty was that's where he was from. I know he looked
yeah, yeah,
familiar.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay.
Don't want to get
Okay.
sidetracked. But yeah, yeah,
Shorty, okay, he put in work. Those are the ones that I thought that were really, really standouts.
yeah,
I almost wanted to put my man, what you call him, Bogart in there with I like seeing Bogart.
yeah.
I know Bogart. He got more lines, I think, in this joke.
He got the whole thing. The thing is just crazy.
What do you think? Those were the ones that did it for me.
Okay, okay.
Uh, I I, I want to put my man Garp in there, but I got a couple of issues with him.
I mean, it was it.
Honestly,
Is it acting issues, or are we saying my issues are how they use guard?
how they used them. I
So,
think it's
so
mainly as how they use. I don't know
because
which
I got I
one to
got
say.
writing issues. Yeah, man, I got writing issues. I'm with you.
But those were the ones that stood out for. Oh, wait a minute. I thought homegirl that played Nami's sister was alright.
Oh, she was yo
She did
like
a
this,
good job.
yo
She did a good job.
that Arlong. Yo, when they
Uh,
got to the Arlong
well,
Park
that's
stuff,
it took
yo,
off.
I tell you,
That's it took off. That was
they
good.
did great. They showed up. They showed up.
That was
Yeah,
good
yeah, yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah. I'm with
Um,
you.
the problematic issues with the characters.
Okay.
Who was more problematic? I mean, you got in Zoro a little bit. I think we're on
Zoro
the same
is
page with that
very
one.
problematic to me. So I'm going to say, and for me, it's a writing issue. So I can't necessarily fault the performance, unless the writers would get up there and say, Baby was like it has to be this way. But especially in early One Piece, so Zoro progressively becomes a more serious character.
Hmm.
It's and not to say of the folks that we pick up in East Blue. He's definitively the most serious, but he isn't a serious character as he is by the time we are post time skip.
Hmm.
So I feel like what they did is because Zoro's so cool, Zoro's whatever, you taking him in his present incarnation and you threw him back in East Blue. And I can tell you that doesn't work for me. So
Hmm.
he's coming across a lot stiffer. I mean,
Hmm.
like if you want to, you go back and you'll say now. I don't even remember the last time I saw Zoro laugh, like just straight up, just have a good time.
Hmm.
Check out Zoro in East Blue. He. I mean, I
I
just I
got
don't know.
this. To
and
me, he's. Oh, go
yeah,
ahead.
go ahead. Now just
No,
like they robbed the
he.
life out of him. You know,
Yeah,
it's like
that's one thing. They suck the life out of him. I mean, he comes
yeah,
off like a mindless henchman. You know,
yeah,
not mindless necessarily, but he even to the extent that yeah, he's not engaged with the crew that much. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't necessarily. He's more or less a henchman, and I think less of a partner than a henchman.
mm,
I
yeah,
mean, more of a henchman than a partner. Whereas in the manga and in the anime, you get the idea that this dude is fully engaged with the crew. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Nami trying to snooker him out of favors. You know, him straightening out Luffy for doing all kinds of stupid things or whatever. He would just straight up tell him, yo man, that's stupid or whatever. Or, stop doing this, that, stop doing that, whatever. But they engaged each other differently.
Yeah,
I think the thinking for American audiences is that we understand henchmen better than we understand those relationships as they stood in the anime, which were
mm,
more, I don't know, loosely defined. They weren't slotted in a specific way. Like he acts like that. Boom, that's what he does. You know what I'm saying? Any given Sunday, they're acting, they're consistent, but they have freedom to let people have certain personalities. You know what I mean?
because I think in to me, and I know we talked about this before, but the brilliance of Eiichiro Oda to me is that he's these characters, and when he starts talking about how he comes up with the personalities and so forth, he comes. It's very simplistic when he presents it. However, in actuality, none of these characters are simple. Most people in general are extremely complex and very layered. So
Mm.
there's a lot going on to individuals that you get. So you get Luffy the clown, Luffy the hero, even though he doesn't want. Don't call him that.
Mm-hmm.
Luffy, the rogue, Luffy the glutton. You get a whole bunch of versions of Luffy to make up who Luffy is. What Luffy
Mm-hmm.
does in this scenario versus what Luffy does in another scenario. So each of these characters have personality, and Zoro is more than just a one-dimensional character. And at
Yeah.
this point in time, you made him one-dimensional.
Yeah.
So I feel like there are facets to that character that just got lost.
Yeah.
And in doing so, I think you've cheated people who are Zoro fans.
Yeah. I
So
think so.
I
And
don't know.
it's not the hugest complaint or it's not a deal breaker for me because he got off in terms of I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
his fight choreography and his fights in general.
is that all? If
I
that's all you
mean,
care about, though.
yeah, but
Yeah,
that's it. But that's it. You know what I mean?
hmm
So I think he was not served as well as he could have been. I
I
think
agree.
Garp, I think, was a little. Uh, ah, Garp. Garp, I think. No, it's weird because, and like you say, there's layers, the layers of it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. There's something off about the way I can't put my finger on it necessarily. I think maybe he's a little bit too purposeful. I don't think he would have tested Luffy the way that he does in the anime. I mean, in the live action, but I understand what he was going for in terms of structuring the story and bringing him into it. Because by the time, I mean, in the anime, you didn't really get into him until what? Uh, wow. Was it after Ennis Lobby, or did you really get a feel for Garp
As a character,
till he
um,
runs into Luffy? I think, except for, I mean, we know that he existed, and I think he had. I can't remember when he was first came into the manga.
I know. I believe he might have showed up in the
Well,
stories that run in like the cover page stories or something like that.
right,
I mean, cause the stuff because they covered in the anime where he trains up when they train up Kobe and Helmeppo,
right.
he whatever like that's real.
Right.
So you meet him, I think, before um uh any other
400
stuff.
or so. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but I mean, I think like like um like Zoro, like there are layers to characters, and there's a joy in Garp.
Yeah.
I mean, of Marine characters, Garp, when you get full picture, I mean, I don't know, like you said, it's too purposeful, and the stuff that gets, and spoiler alert for anybody who is straight up live action only, excuse me, but when you get into family dynamic and whatever, is this every time a family member leaves uh Windmill Village? Is Garp doing this? Is he doing this for everybody?
Mm.
Because I'm trying to tell you, because you'd be hard pressed to tell me he's not. Luffy ain't the only one. Like
Yeah.
it just is he only doing this for Luffy? Is it other people were a bit more mature or something? Did I expect 17-year-old other grandson to act whatever way versus I don't know, dude. When you making me question some things because
Yeah. I mean, he ultimately he gave him his blessings to go out and be a
mm,
pirate. I don't see God doing that. I mean,
yeah,
he in the end he saw that he couldn't dissuade him from doing it and was just like, well, whatever, but you're gonna meet up with your consequences at some point. You know what I mean? And I ain't spoiling nothing, whatever. But he don't have a problem with you going on about your business if you're aware that in the end you're gonna come up with you're gonna run outside, you're gonna step outside the line and something's gonna happen to you. You know what I'm saying? But he
that,
didn't want that. He wouldn't okay him necessarily to say, all right, you got my blessings, go on and be a pirate. If you won't stop, all right, that's it. You know what I'm saying? I let it be known that I told you not to do whatever. Which is ultimately when he ran into him at Water Seven.
yeah.
He didn't basically say you're doing what you're doing. He came and told him, he told him about his heritage, is where he came from, whatever. But he told him, he said, I wanted you to be a Marine. I flat out wanted you to be a Marine, and you should have been a Marine or whatever. But you started running off with Shanks, and people are going after, following after Shanks, whatever. But he never actually told him, go ahead and go be a pirate. You know what I mean? He just didn't necessarily. He could have scuttled his boat when they were leaving if he really wanted to.
I
But he
mean, like
wasn't gonna
this.
do that to his grandson. What's he
Look,
gonna
ain't
do?
nothing. Look, Garp he's firstly the use of Garp is
Complicated.
problematic for me because Garp is
Ultimately,
too
yeah.
powerful. It's too like it just like I don't even understand. He's too much. He's too much at this stage of the story, and I don't care if that's that bad grandfather or not. Like if he was serious about stopping Luffy, Luffy
He's
stopped. Like
stops.
it's
That's it.
it's just nothing.
Without
Luffy
question.
could if he said, "Dude, you grounded. I'm gonna chain you up in the." Luffy be chained up in some basement, like whatever. There's nothing you
Yeah.
could do to stop this. I mean, Garp is a problem. I don't know.
And
He was he.
another
Go
thing
ahead.
I think that I know, I think this is more a product of the time that we live in. They didn't get into how he really trained that kid. Some child abuse going on up in that show. He beat my man like a Persian rug. He threw him off into the jungle to fend for himself. He set him off in the air in a balloon.
You
He
peeped that
abused
too,
that
huh?
kid.
You
Yeah, I mean but they let that
peeped.
go because you can't do that right now.
You
He
can't.
was
Oh no, live action. We have to show him doing. Yeah,
check out Fist. Look up Fist of Love. You know what I'm
fist
saying?
of love.
But they can't do that right now, and I understand they
Yeah.
had to back off on it. All
I
right,
ain't like
fair.
that. I ain't
I
like that. I,
understand.
I just like sometimes you gotta let stuff fly, dude. It got to be what
He
it is.
he had to pick his poison. He had to choose which hill he wanted to die on. I guess he wasn't going to die on that hill. Oda, I mean Oda, so he let that slide.
Uh,
Um, let me see. I thought Garp was problematic. I think honestly, this is weird, but Mihawk, ah, Mihawk seemed a bit sedated. I mean, like when he told Zorro surpass him, he was shouting that. You know what I'm saying? Like there was some passion in him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
He
yeah.
said that in a live
Cause
action. He
he
was
was
kind of
hopeful.
like, yeah. He seemed like he didn't care where they were. He said that shit. He said, surpass me on us, and then walked out. You know what I'm saying? And when my man, said, marks on the back is a pirate shame or whatever, he was like, oh snap, it's a real
Yo,
dude. You know,
it meant something. It meant something. Yeah, yeah,
it
yeah.
caught his attention. He was like, what? All
This
right then.
kid, this
You
kid. Yeah,
know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
This is going to surpass me. And him showing that shock and that amazement meant that surpassing him was a big deal. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of lost something with Mihawk.
yeah. Okay.
I'm trying to think any other characters. Everybody else I was kind of fine with.
Yeah.
I thought all along worked. I think,
Well, I got one
yeah,
exception.
go
One
ahead.
exception. And I mean, I mean, so, and I had to rewatch it. But
Uh,
we got that bar fight with the
on the
mountain
Bradier.
bandits. No, with the
Oh, you
mountain
talking about
bandits.
on the mountain?
And I'm about to
Oh,
tell you, you see, I'm okay with Shanks and Lucky Roo and Yasop, but but my man Ben Beckman,
nah, I feel
um,
it. I think they
dude,
missed on Ben Bigman. I'm glad you brought that
dude,
up. I think they missed
dude,
on
I'm gonna
Ben
tell
Bigman.
you, I don't know what that is, man. I don't know what that was. I was like, it took me a minute, dude. I was like, this some random pirate
he
D.
didn't. He didn't. He didn't even look important to be honest with you. He looked like Pirate B. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I thought. That's really what I thought.
Oh,
And I said, no, I think that's supposed to be Beckman. Your
nah,
man Otis says that back in East Blue, he's supposed to be a heartthrob. He's supposed to Jesus Christ. I'm like,
that was not
yo,
that
this is
deep.
random pirate D. Like, whose cousin was that? They was like, we gonna throw you in here, dude. You gonna be Ben Beckman.
Yeah, I didn't
Who
feel
is
that.
that middle aged client? Like, I didn't know what that
Yeah, that
was.
wasn't even.
I
Yeah,
didn't even know. Like, and
See,
they were
and
doing that. They did it on purpose.
I think so. And that's funny because I didn't even bring up Shanks. I thought Shanks was okay.
Yeah,
I
okay.
thought Shanks was okay. I didn't think it was bad, but yeah, that right there didn't work. And I wanted that Lucky Rule put my man down like point blank. I wanted that. I mean, it was kind of like an over the shoulder shot that he gets it, which is fair. When he gets the mountain bandit dude, I kind of wanted him to sneak up on my man real quick and put him down. But then maybe they thought that was too much for the kids. I guess
Maybe, but
that
sometimes
scene I thought was underplayed. I mean, that whole thing where you pull that pistol, man. You better be serious. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? That was like big in anime.
that's big for kids though. You need to know,
Yeah,
man.
but
You
it was
start
like grown
playing.
folk business. You know what I'm
Yeah, this is
saying?
grown
That was
folk
the point.
business. That's what's supposed to happen. That's a lesson.
Yeah, that's like this is pirate game. This ain't no game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you take out that mountain bandit. I thought that was underserved,
Yeah.
and Ben Beckman wasn't Ben Beckman, so we could just
Yeah, I don't
cast
know
him
who
out.
that was. Like, yeah,
Pirate G. You know what I'm saying? It's like some scaled down
uh,
version.
yeah, man. I wasn't feeling that. I wasn't feeling that at all.
In terms of the fact that this is basically, I guess they pretty much did the East Blue arc
Okay.
in how many episodes?
8.
8. Yeah, how do you think that paced out?
Um, I mean, it's a little
Given
fast,
the
but it's a live
limitation. Yeah,
action. But it's a
yeah,
live action show. I was actually pleased. So I like. I'm gonna call it a dirty presentation. So arcs bled into each other. I
right.
like that. That stuff wasn't clean cut. Like we wrapped up here and whatever. Like Arlong showed up and he yanked Buggy. I thought that was cool. So I like how they layered stuff up. So I was pleased with that. I thought the pacing was I thought the pacing was all right for what it was. But
I
you
think I think the only problem that I have going
mhm,
forward is the kind of wasted a shot that comes later in, I guess, Water 7,
mhm.
of Zoro basically telling Luffy to step up, and the dynamic, you know, I'm saying, after the sub Luffy fight, he basically tell him, you know, hey, you got this is your burden. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You got to
yeah,
deal with it. If you don't,
yeah,
you know, we'll fall apart.
yeah.
That's not really there anymore
I
because
mean,
it's
I
kind of
think
been done. You know.
you gonna have to suspend belief, dude. I think that's just where you at. You know, like when you move to this medium, when it's going to be live action like this, like, and I don't want to get too far off One Piece, but like when you get into stuff like when you watch the Avengers
Right.
and you go through however many movies they did to get you to Civil War. I mean, I'll tell people my biggest complaint is there weren't enough.
Hmm.
You got people like it's supposed to be best friends or whatever. Like I didn't feel like by the time these Cap and Iron Man fighting each other, they're 40 years in the game. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
they've been together forever. So it's a lot of stuff going, and it's hard to get people to understand the depth or the complexity of a relationship when if the pacing is fast, then it's fast, and you're just like we supposed to, you know, fast friends just don't necessarily equate to being as impactful as
Hmm.
one. So some stuff you just gonna I feel like we're gonna have to just let go because that's a problem
Yeah.
for me. It's a big problem for me, but I'm gonna have to just be like when it come, I'm about to be like, okay, yeah, 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 whatever.
I
It's
mean,
heavy.
it's yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's
Yeah,
that, and that's like because a lot of those little moments that Oda, like you say, he built up over time.
yeah.
You know, even within the live action, when Zoro's telling Nami, you know, I'm gonna go off and fight Mihawk, and she's begging him not to, and he said, "Why do you even care?" She said, "Because you were my friend." That kind of rings a little hollow because you met that barber like maybe a day ago or
There you
two, maybe
go.
three times.
Yeah.
I mean, but then you might say that she's just hungry for friendship and she consider any cat that she ran into within the last 24 hours to be her friend. Maybe I don't know, but I'm just saying. But those are the constraints that he's dealing with.
I
If he'd have
mean,
had 14 episodes for the first season and maybe you got some more little adventures in, you could
I think at
hide
least
a little bit
10.
more.
I think two
Yeah,
more episodes would serve you well. And I hope they add two episodes to the episode
I hope
count
so.
for the
I
next
hope so.
season because I don't 8 seasons is too few for me
Yeah,
to
assuming
do
that
what you
they,
want One Piece to do.
because next they doing what, Alabasta, I guess. Uh,
I guess overall,
Combination of Alabasta, Drum
because we
Island
still gotta
type
go to
situation.
was it Logtown, and then we
Low
got
Town, yeah, yeah.
we we got
They
to
got
hit
to
up
get Low Town,
Drum Island,
Drum Island,
and
and
we got to pick up
the Whiskey
Chopper.
Peak and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
I
Yeah.
mean, are we gonna do Whiskey Peak? I mean, Whiskey Peak with your man goes. I don't know, man. What we gonna do?
I'd like to see Zorro take out 100
I mean, are
bounty
we? I mean,
hunters. I mean, there's
because they
little
was doing
stuff
some
in there.
hardcore stuff. I mean, yeah.
I, I mean, all I'm saying that they
Zoro
some
versus Luffy.
yeah. Oh God, please do that. Oh
One
my
of my
God,
favorite bits. Said all the One
versus
Piece.
Luffy.
But are we gonna get there, yo? Because I mean, because some of the comedy they don't. Because Nami ain't lay hands on nobody yet. Like I
So I'm
just
saying she bopping these babies on the
like.
head.
It's
So
just
I'm saying that's right up there with the fist of love. You know what I'm
like I'm
saying?
trying to
It's,
tell you. I'm
um,
trying to tell you. I don't
oh,
know.
so pacing wise, yeah, they did what they had to do with the time that they had allotted. I think a lot was left on a good amount was left on the cutting room floor, and I'm
Hmm.
curious to see how they pick it up going forward.
Okay.
Um, do you think that enough has been done to get the uninitiated in the door? Or are we just talking about diehards at this point?
No, I think this can be its own thing. So I think that there are folks who can get down on this live action series and be served. I think season two might be a make or break for diehards when you get Chopper in there and we get to see exactly what that's going to be like and so forth. But I think there's enough for the uninitiated to get in here and have a good time. Now I don't
Okay.
know if I don't I mean if it catches you, then you might venture into the manga, into the whatever, and you might look back and say, I don't know what this is, what this is, but I don't know. I think there's enough in there. I think it's a fun show.
I mean, when you look at people like, I mean, I looked at a lot of reviewers that,
Huh?
usually hating on stuff, Nerd Addict, Critical Drinker, people like that.
Yeah,
It was like, this is the bomb. It was like,
because
nah, maybe
it's
that's because
fun.
they hate everything else and they just looking for something to pick up. I don't know, but a lot of them
Jose's
on the
Crisis
mat.
Corner. Yeah,
I, I'm
professional hate.
on the merits. I mean, I'm talking about on the merits, not necessarily as a fanboy or whatever. On the merits, I think this is technically a good show.
I'm
And
surprised to hear you say
I mean, it's older, man. Come on. And and this is
it.
the oldest show because I mean, it's one of them things. It's like I don't know. I can't remember who the creator of Cowboy Bebop was, but he just gave them that and said, "You do it." You know what I'm saying? I don't get the impression that he had anything to do with the production or
Oh yeah.
insisted on any certain aspects of the show because they
Oh.
took what they did what they wanted to do, and that Joker sucked. You know what I'm saying? You always were hearing updates about Oda saying,
I don't know
he
about this one.
vetoed this or he was just like
Yeah,
shooting stuff down,
I don't know about
but
this one
he
coming.
had the clout to do it. He's got the most successful manga and comic book pretty much of all time.
Yeah,
He
shoot, he
didn't
only
have,
chasing Superman. Yeah.
yeah, he didn't have to. He didn't have to do this. Yeah, I'm not saying he was doing the world a favor by making One Piece a live action. I'm just saying it wasn't a risk that he needed to take. But
No, necessarily.
taking that risk, he dived into it,
Yeah.
and maybe to his own detriment in terms of health. I don't know, but he dived into it and made sure they did what he wanted to be done. And I think that saved the series. Otherwise, we'd be looking at another Cowboy Bebop.
Oh, I mean,
I
I think
mean,
that's probably true too. I
yeah,
mean, I do think that the creators, who was it? Matt Owens and Stephen Maeda. I think I mean they come across as fans of the product,
good.
but um so I think there's love all around, and I do. It seems to me that there is a high amount of respect for Oda and his opinion and what he was bringing to the table. I think that I agree with you. I think everybody involved, it showed that they took this stuff seriously. I agree
Cool.
with that.
All right. So to wrap up, was it worth the effort? Was it worth the
I'm
risk?
I'm going to say yes, because at this point in time, I also I expected to hate it. Now I can tell you, I'm be as frank as possible and say I didn't like it as much as you do, but
Mhm.
I do believe that they have me that I'm going to watch season 2. So I'm
Okay.
not. It's not one season and done for me. And I think anything that brings people back is always worth the effort. If you got me to say, you know what, I'm gonna check out the next season. I can't wait for it to drop. So I
Okay.
guess in some ways I am looking forward to it. So I think that's a testament to. And I'm not a lover. I guess I liked it. It was all
Okay.
right. Like, whatever. I still want to see what they do.
Now, what's the lesson you think to be learned from the next band of IPs like the Naruto's and the whatever that is looking to get made into a live action? Because Netflix is looking for content. All of these guys are
I mean, they
looking
really
to, yeah.
are. They really are. I mean, I would say, um, you want to stay as true to the product as possible. It's very difficult because I'm real curious to see how a Naruto would work out.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
you want to stay as true to the original as much as you can. Sacrifice whatever's possible. Shave off what you can, but I don't know. You want to follow and let the creators have a voice. Don't just disregard what they got going because I think I agree with you in so much that Oda's involvement is a secret weapon. I think that that's something
Mm,
that they utilize very well to make this thing as strong as it is.
okay. And again, going forward, how are they? We talked about this not that long ago. How they gonna do Tommy
The only thing I can think of, we talked
Chopper?
about this, I guess
We
a
ain't gonna
while
get into
ago.
Frankie and Brooke and all
I
of
don't
them.
even
That's
know how they
that's
go do
that's
Frankie and Brooke. Because
yeah,
Chopper's coming up.
yeah.
The
He's
only
next
thing,
on
the only other show that I can think delves into this realm on Netflix right now is a show called Sweet Tooth. I enjoy it. I would recommend that you set eyes on it. But ultimately, the main character is a deer human hybrid, and
okay.
I would say that you ultimately want to make him. I would make him a real person and put some antlers and ears on him as much as you can. So I know people gonna be like it's biting sweet tooth. Let it be what it is. I would bite
Yeah,
sweet tooth. I
with
would
that
not
blue
go.
nose on him,
Yeah,
maybe.
put a blue nose on him. I wouldn't go, animatronic. I wouldn't go, puppet. I wouldn't, insert him in the. I would just straight up go. Just put a boy in there. Let him as he gets
Yeah,
older, he'll get older. Put a kid in there. Put some antlers on him, and just call it a day.
I go with
What
that.
are you thinking?
Yeah, I would do that because otherwise you're gonna run the cost up, and then you're gonna throw whatever little bit of believability you have out the window. You know,
Yeah,
and it's not to say that this has to be. This ain't no documentary. You know what I'm saying? It's what it is. It's a creation of a fictional world, so it don't gotta
yeah.
look picture perfect.
No.
But don't fight no losing battle, man. Just put the antlers on them, put a blue nose on them, and
Because if
then
they mess up Chopper, I got to be out, dude. I'm gonna tell you that on the
yeah,
jump.
yeah,
If
Chopper
Chopper
gonna
messed up,
do
if
it.
Chopper hard, I got to go. I can't
Now the
wait.
Rumble Balls is gonna be an issue because
They are.
he's gonna have to turn into. You're gonna have to do an arm point, jump point, blah blah blah. His he got different manifestations or whatever. So good luck with that. Just that's where you go. You just that's like Luffy. Don't have him stretch me so much.
Yeah,
Do
yeah.
Gomu Gomu no Fusen every once in a while. Just don't do Gatlin every once in a while. So when you get the chopper when he do jump point, just keep it cool. It's just don't when we get the monster point, you go crazy with
Oh,
the
it's gonna be
CGI
crazy.
or whatever. But
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And what's the story arc that you're looking forward to next? I mean, the most going forward. What's the
Oh, right now, I guess I'm looking forward to Drum Island.
okay?
I love Chopper's backstory. I think it's one of my absolute favorites. I think it's gonna hit like Nami's backstory hit. So
Oh yeah.
I'm very much looking forward to Drum Island. Which
Yeah.
you where you at?
It's down the road, but I always got to steer towards Water Seven. I mean, it's
Oh,
just a
you talking
ways off. It's a
you
ways
talking
off.
way no,
That
you
might
talking way
I might be dead by the time they come
I
home. But
mean
Water
it's like
Seven,
oh
this
you
lobby Water Seven situation. That's
look
just
you put them in for real. Okay.
hey, I'm
Okay.
doing my jumping jacks now. I want to stay fit. So when they jump in, I'll be alive to see it.
Okay. Okay.
We'll see. All right, well that's
I'm
good.
rooting for you.
That's yeah, yeah, hey, we'll see. But that's our retrospective on One Piece. Like I say, it's a show that I'm or the collective One Piece fan base is probably breathing a sigh of relief. It could have been a disaster. I mean, it could have turned off more people than it turned on, and it didn't. And the consensus seems to be that it wasn't a put off, which at this point in time is the best that you can hope for. But further than that, I think it's attracted people, the non-initiated, to the IP at least to check it out. Even my man, what you call him? What's my boy name? Swakage and people like that. They jumped on and say, well, let me what, read the whole manga.
Okay.
I think Swakage and maybe who else? There's a couple of people that went back and said they're going to read through it and see what's going on, and they did, and they said it was tight.
Okay.
So hey, job well done, Oda. So that's it. That's it up for One Piece live action Netflix retrospective. Um, next, we might, I got a review, a recommendation coming up on some soft, 18 whatever stuff, all creatures, all creatures great and small, which I'm gonna put up. I'm gonna spend the
What was
rest of
that
the
show
night.
again, Jose? Say it one more
All
time.
creatures great and small. So I've already done Miss Scarlet and the Duke, which I highly recommend. My next recommendation is going to be All Creatures Great and Small. So, like I said, Jujutsu Kaisen crowd, you might want to do something else. But I'm telling you, it's choice type. I'll get into that in a second. So, for now, let me know what you thought about it. Comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And we'll see you next time. Till then, stay loose.